Y'all don't know about my wife. She is our children's pastor. She does a great job with the kids. We appreciate it. Willow, why don't you stand right up here because we're getting ready to do baptism. All right? Get ready to go right over there, okay? All right, so Willow's getting baptized today. Willow came up to me, when was it, Willow, you came up to me and was telling me about 2 weeks ago, maybe? Something like that. A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And she was just excited. She goes, "Brother Mike, I got saved. I asked Jesus into my heart." I said, "That's great. So what we want to do next is get to do baptismal because we know that going in that water is not going to save anyone. Jesus, I want people to know that I'm one of His followers and I believe in Him. Amen? All right, so are you ready? Okay, well, okay. You want to slip your sandals off? I'm going to walk you right over here. Let me see if I can get the sleeves right up here. All days to wear a long sleeve shirt, right? All right, ready? Just walk on down to the Did you want to say anything? All right. Mom, can you do that and take pictures?
I can.
You sure? Okay. Four kids. All right. Willow, according to what you've done, if you asked Jesus in your heart, now you're following Him in water baptism. And so it's my privilege to baptize you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Now, this morning, the message may be a little bit different in here, so when we have children here, I kind of do, to kind of sometimes get them involved in everything, and I believe the adults get a lot out of it too. They won't admit it sometimes, but they do. Maybe could you see if you can help me out with this with me? I'm going to need my hands free if at all possible. Teresa's bringing some stuff in here now. We're going to for some illustrations here in just a moment. The kid's going to help me out. But this morning, I'm doing a message, and Zach will go ahead and bring that message title up on the screen, called Mission Possible. Now, we've all heard the movies, right? Mission Impossible. But what we're calling that this morning is Mission Possible, okay? And this is where God, He puts us on a mission. There's something that He wants us to do as a church, as individuals. And, sometimes, it looks like an impossible thing to do, but with God, all things are possible. All right. Now, I hope the kids are going to be able, we might have to get adults to do this, actually.
No.
You think it'd be funnier?
I don't know what that is.
We good?
No, I want to do it.
Okay. But kids listen to me, and the adults as well. What we're going to do during this sermon, we're going to have what we're going to call a big idea. Okay? And here's the big idea. So if you'll bring that next screen up, this is what I want you to remember. Every time you see that screen pop up, ta-da! And it's going to say, what's the big idea? All right? Let's everybody just say that. What's the big idea? All right, well, here's the big idea for this. Let's say this together. God made a way to bring us back to Himself. So when you see that come up, then you're going to know what the big idea is. So who can remember it already without looking at the screen? All right? All right, God made a way to bring us back to Himself. All right? All right, so let's go back to the previous screen there, Zach, and let's try again, and let that pop up again, and let's see what we got. Let's go back to the first one. All right, what's the big idea?
God made a way to bring us back to Himself.
So you see how they did that right there? Amen. And so I think we ought to just include that. Let's have just, it's all right. All right, so let's do it one more time. Let's see if we can get more people involved. What's the big idea? All right, bring us back to Himself. All right, and then there's going to be a big verse. Okay, so bring that up next. All right, the big verse. All right, and the verse is this. It's found in Romans 3:23, and it says this: "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." So we're going to try to get those two things. We're going to get the big idea and what this big verse is for today. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Now, if your children's church does it when you say the scripture, kids, it's not colon, it's dot. Okay, dot 23. All right, so that's the big idea. Again, what is the big idea?
To bring us back to Himself.
Okay, and then the verse is, without looking, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Romans 3, dot 23. Okay, so y'all got that? So, all right, I need 2 volunteers. And I think they're going to have to be kind of tall because I don't know if the kids can get up there and reach this.
Oh, me.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be an adult. So, all right. Tell you what, Yesenia, you come up. We're going to challenge the adults. I'm going to get an adult. Come on, who wants to do it?
No.
An adult. Now, it's got to be an adult this time.
I'm an adult.
Real quick. Oh, shit. No, they're volunteered you up here. But, yeah, that's okay, now, let me just tell you what's up here. And I'm just going to test the stem. It's just 3 apples. Okay, and all we're going to do, just to make this a little fun, is we're going to see who can get the 3 apples out the quickest. Without using your hand. Do what? No. You want to do what? Oh, you want to spit your gum out? Okay. Well, this is your bucket. All right. So that's the go. Now, not by the stem, but however you can get it. We might need to go get another towel. I didn't think, I thought we might need another towel. So if you'll help me out with that. So you guys ready for this? All right, everybody got you? No, you can't use your hands, okay? You just have to, you can move it closer if you want to. We'll make it a little easier. Or you can move a little closer too. Get it about a good distance. Now, let me tell you, this is probably about 4 or 5 inches deep. So it's probably going to be getting down in there pretty good, so your hair might get wet. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, we got some paper towels? Okay, that'll work. All right, so who do you guys think is going to win? All right, so that's it. Just mind who gets the. Okay. Away and just drop them out of your mouth, okay? But if you drop them back in the water, you got to get them again. All right, y'all ready? Everybody ready? Yes. All right. On your mark. Get set. Go! Come to the world. Anyway, so here we go. So that was just demonstrating something we're going to be doing in the message, because you know what happened with Adam and Eve. All right, what happened with them? They took a fruit that they weren't supposed to be taking. They went after something that they weren't supposed to be going after. Okay, and so anyway, so that's just part of what we're going to be looking at today. You know, I think it's about time for the big idea again. All right, what? All right, this side's doing pretty good. I'm not seeing much movement over here. All right, what is it? Oh, she just challenged you. Okay, so let's do that again. You ready? What's the big idea? All right, let's get better. All right, what's the big verse? Okay, maybe by the end you'll have it, all right? As for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, Romans 3:23. All right. Talk about mission for being sent to go somewhere to do something. It can be as simple as going to the grocery store. You're on a mission to get some groceries. Or it can be more complicated, more detailed when in fact when God calls someone maybe to go to the mission field where they have to learn a new language, they have to learn a new culture, and all these kind of things. They're moving their family, so it could be but it's a mission. That's what it's all about. And when it comes to a mission from God, God is the instigator. Okay? His plan is His objective, and He wants. So that means you. But God has always used ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Always. To show that it's not their power, but it's His power. Amen? What we're going to do when the kids come in here, I'm going to do a little message on the mission of God. We're going to talk about different individuals and how God sent them and what they did and how they were able and if they were able to accomplish the mission. So that's what we're going to kind of do as a series for the kids. But in most of the missions God sent people on, it seemed mission impossible. Let's be honest. A lot of things God asked people to do, it just seems mission impossible. But that's just it. How many of you ever felt like there were some things God wanted you to do and you just said, God, I just can't do it? It could have been forgetting someone. Okay? It's someone that hurt you deep in your heart. It could have been so many different things that had happened in your life. And God's saying, right now, this is your mission. You need to forget that person. Because you can't go any further if you've got this bitterness and anger in your heart. All right? And so it could be a mission like that. Or it could be a mission where He actually wants to use you in some type of ministry. Or just whatever it is. But a lot of times to you it may seem like mission impossible, but God, I just don't know how I can do that. I just, whatever. To show that it's not about you, it's about Him. Amen? And so that's what we're looking at. So, again, just want to look at this. We're going to start this series again focused on why God, we're going to start, by today looking at the question, why God had a mission to reach out in the first place. Okay, why did God even have to reach out in the first place? All right? And this is where it all began. If you'll bring that next one of Adam and Eve, this is the mission where God sends, and that's part of a mission, God sends, and God sends Adam and Eve. He said, Brother Mike, what does that mean? Where did God send Adam and Eve? God sent them out of the garden. Okay? Now what I did, since the kids were in here today, I thought instead of just reading these scriptures, I'd put together a little video here. And I just edited a little bit to try to get to the point. Just to kind of share the story. Do that? Sure. All right, so if you guys will bring it in.
Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were, and breathed into His nostrils the breath of life. God created man in His likeness. Looked upon and saw that it was good.
Julie, hi.
Chris Quantum, you're spying on your father?
No, I'm not spying. Exactly. Look, Dad's been working for weeks on a top secret project. Only he won't even let me into the lab. What doesn't he want me to see?
Oh no, I've run out of Amphigoreum-233, and I simply can't finish my invention without it.
Anything I can do to help while you're gone, Dad?
No. And Chris, remember, Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, gotta go.
Where are we now?
We call this Eden. I am Adam.
And I am...
Psst. Why aren't they wearing clothes?
I don't know. Just deal with it.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, we're lunch.
Why didn't it eat us?
Why would it?
Because that's what wild animals do. Not here in Eden.
God has filled this place with many wonders. Come, let us show you.
God has given us everything here in the garden.
Which we may enjoy, as long as we do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Why is eating that fruit a problem?
It is what God told me.
He only wants what is best for us.
So whatever He asks of us, we do. Anything else would be...
Disobedient?
And Chris, remember, do not go in the lab. Be careful what you choose. Has God indeed said, "You shall not eat of every tree of the garden"?
We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, "You shall not eat it, lest you die."
You surely will not die. For God, your eyes will be opened.
Eve, what is the matter?
I feel everything.
God told us not to.
I know, Adam. I know.
And when they sinned, it completely separated. You saw that how that kind of mountain came up. But, you know, it was a separation that took place. They could not have access to the garden. They could not have access to the tree of life any longer. And it separated them from God. And so God, you know, who is completely perfect, is what this kind of this water right here, what this represents. Just purity, you know, just pure God and then all this. And then what happened when man sinned kind of is represented by this. You know, how sin does, what would happen if I were to, you know, that couldn't be. All right? So there had to be a separation. A perfect God could not dwell with an imperfect man. Okay? It's sin. God is holy. He's set apart. All right? And it had to be something would have to happen to get man back where he needed to be with God. And so, again, God's completely perfect. He can only be around because if something perfect mixes with something that isn't perfect, it becomes imperfect. Okay? And so that's what happened with Adam and Eve. They represent like the black fluid. Like that's what was just black and it's dark and it's just doing bad things. And you didn't have to be told how to do it. How many knows when a child gets to a certain age, they don't have to be told how to do wrong, do they? What's one of the first things they usually say, by the way? Do what? Okay, I'm thinking of mine. Mine, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. It's selfishness, really. That's really where the sin is, the root of it is a lot of selfishness and things like that. But so it was impossible for that to happen. So let's just say that, you know, this represents Jesus. God sent Jesus, right? He sent Jesus into the world so that we have to God. This problem of sin. And so what we have to do, we have to give our lives to Christ, right? What do you think about that? All right. And he took care of the sin problem. Amen? And see, our sin that was put upon him, but he's so pure, he's so holy, he lived a perfect life for us. And he is the way that we could get back to God. It's only through Jesus Christ. He's the only one that could take our sin upon himself and deal with it and get us right with it. And that is so important. And so, you know what? So, I think we ought to hear about what's the big idea. Come on. What's the big idea?
God made a way to bring me back to himself.
All right, and what's the big verse?
For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Romans 3:9.
Hey, I think you actually got it that time. That sounded a lot better, okay? So I'm going to do it one more time. All right, bring it back. What's the big idea?
God made a way to bring me back to himself.
And what's the big verse?
For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
Amen. All right, isn't that amazing? He took our sin upon him and he cleansed us. I love the fact that he didn't cover over our sin. Okay, it's just like this. It's like, okay, Jesus didn't come to say, ooh, that looks bad, and throw something over it. All right? He come to take it away. Right? Just take it away. Amen? And to cleanse us from our... And so that's what I want you to get. I want to do this morning. I've asked Zach, he's going to play this song. And if you're here this morning and you don't know the Lord or you're away from God and you want to come back to God this morning, I mean, we've done it in simple terms that even a child can understand this morning. And just understand what God did for you. You don't have to walk around and let your past dominate you.